Nissan is absolutely immaculate. Not putting a wheel wrong, the car is not missing a beat, but to do these quadruple stints is really quite something. Perhaps Steve sees this. No, it can't be the last time he's going to drive the car. It's still when we get up towards 9 o'clock. We'll still have 7 hours to go. Past the pits goes the Repsol Ferrari. Somebody was suggesting to us yesterday that Ferrari didn't relish the prospect of having red Ferraris racing at Le Mans because they weren't officially work-supporting cars. We're not seeing lap times quite as quick as we did in the coolness of the evening and the early morning, so that the lap times now are 3:56s for Mauro Baldi in car number 36, 3:58 for Hans Stuck in car number 35, so he's not lapping as quickly as Mauro is at the moment. Number 75, the Nissan in 4th place. It's got 3 laps on the number 4 Toyota.
A lap of over 4 minutes for Mauro, and that's brought the gap.
The Nissan's got problems. The Nissan has got problems. Number 75 has got slowed down. The first time this car's had a problem. Steve Millen is it at the wheel? Yes. The Nissan coming down towards the pit lane now. If you're in the tribunes looking right, you can see this car now with flame coming out of one of the exhausts. So the 4th placed Nissan, which has gone so well. That's what comes of saying a car runs like clockwork, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, I've said it too. So it comes into the pits then. The Nissan with Steve Millen at the wheel has its first problem of the race. There was a lot of flame coming out of the exhaust there of the Nissan.
Yes, and smoke through the binoculars. Fire extinguisher had been blown on it, so things will be safe. It looks as though they're going to back it into the garage.
Yes, it's disappearing rapidly.
The leader has stopped at the end of the pit lane. Problems then for Jeff Krosnoff. The leader has stopped, the driver's climbing out. What has happened? What were we talking about, John, just now, about the Jesus Pereira car? The car has stopped at the end of the pits. The driver's door is open. It's obviously, the engine has cut, I suppose.
That came to a stop very quickly, yes, I was going to say that. And there didn't seem to be any smoke or any portent of that at all.
There was a hint of smoke from the right-hand exhaust pipe as it pulled up, but he's out of the car. Jeff Krosnoff out of the car. He's looking.
He's got to do it alone. He can obviously receive verbal assistance from his team, but he's got to do this alone.
He's looking under the engine cover at the back, and it's as if he's looking for a particular switch that he knows he has to switch, and straight back into the car he gets.
He's got the engine fired up, hasn't he?
He seemed like he knew what he was doing there, Ian. It seemed like he knew what the problem was, and he thinks he can fix it. He's got it going.
He's got it going, yes. But of course his problem is he's got to do a complete lap. It's exactly the same fate that really befell Danny Sullivan at the start of the race, much earlier on yesterday. So he got the car fired up, it stopped again.
The marshals are now, no, I think he's still got it fired up. The marshals are telling him he has to do his seatbelts up.
Oh, right.
The marshals stopped him from going on.
Paul's right, it was a question of doing up his seatbelt. The car is underway again.
No, he's got to do it.
Yep, up the hill he goes. So Jeff Krosnoff, right, Bob, presumably you're going to be hovering around the Toyota pit.
Well, I'm right in the Porsche pit, as a matter of fact. Here it comes.
Here it comes then.
The whistle blows, and Mauro Baldi is waiting to take this car over, incidentally.
Well, it is his turn now, because they got slightly out of sync, but nevertheless it is Mauro Baldi who's missed out, so he's going to get into the car.
And meanwhile, the leader, still the leader, of course.
Yeah, coming down to Indianapolis.
Yes, Indianapolis now.
And the number 36 car, of course, is on the same lap.
It is.
It's just started the lap, which the number 1 car is just finishing.
Precisely so. So the leader comes into the pits, and the second place car is chasing round, trying to catch it up, and it will take the lead when it completes this lap.
Krosnoff is out of the car, and he's in the final fettle, I think, Krosnoff. Eddie Irvine is ready to get into the car. Max Welty asked exactly the same thing that you asked, or you were talking about, the belts. He said, we must make sure that he's got his belts done up. That was a major point. They fueled it, they're now about to take the rear bodywork off. Eddie Irvine remaining very cool and very calm, and that's really what's needed in this juncture.
And there's some very emotional people in the Sard pit at the moment. Because they can see victory being torn from their grasp, and we had on the television camera just there. So Mauro Baldi will go through and take the lead.
Bob, the work that's going on in the pits at the moment, does it look like it's purposeful? They know what's the matter?
They look as though they do. At the moment, the only tool that's there is a really great iron bar. Almost as though it might be something to do with the gear selection.
It's the gear linkage.
Yeah, exactly, gear linkage.
Yeah, it's definitely the gear linkage.
Now we have got quite a race on our hands, Ian, with certainly the second and third placed cars looking close together.
Yeah, well, the official screen is telling us that the Porsches have actually moved into the first two places, separated by 2 laps, so that Thierry Boots, who's at the wheel of number 35 at the moment, is also ahead of Eddie Irvine in the number 1 Toyota. Meanwhile, work still going on the leading car.
Ian, the caption they put up for that was Tige de commande de boîte, which is the gearbox input shaft.
Right, it's down. I think the Toyota's ready to go out, isn't it? Yeah, Eddie Irvine. Eddie's going to go for it now. Out he goes, and there'll be one more stop after this one, will there not? They have they refueled it, Bob?
Yes, they did.
Right.
Yeah, I've got a feeling there might actually be 2 more stops for... No, one more stop for Eddie Irvine.
Eddie remembered he had to drive at the speed limit down the pit lane because the eyes of Porsche are on that car now. Make sure there's no infringement of the regulations. So Eddie coolly drove it down the pit lane, perhaps even more slowly than he would have otherwise done. So he's back out in the race.
We might suggest, Ian, that wherever people are around the circuit, they keep their eyes open for this Eddie Irvine pedalled car, because he is surely going to be going for it now.
Yes, there's really no alternative but to go for it, and he's on to then his first lap out, and it's, what, now coming up towards 2:45, an hour and a quarter left. All about the mathematics, Paul. It's really almost beyond reach, isn't it?
It's beyond reach. He even with the full fuel, he has to make another stop for fuel, and it's going to be very difficult in order to